You ain't never had a friend like me. I'm in the mood to help you, dude. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. We're going to talk about the best 5v5 offense teams in GAC today. I do this every month, and I've also released the defensive video at the same time, so you can find that link to that in the video description if you want. And it's a good time, I'm sure. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff, folks. In fact, here, let's say thanks to all my patrons. This is a really small view. You guys are amazing, and I really appreciate all the support. You guys truly, it's astounding. I really, truly appreciate all of you. And if you want to support the channel for free, all you've got to do is like, subscribe, and comment. Really appreciate you guys for all the things. Help me mount the algorithm. It's my way of giving back, guys. You get to mount the algorithm. So, one thing to keep in mind, folks, is that I will, this is on my main account with a lot of big, I mean, it's a big roster. It's got all the toys, and I know that that's not approachable to everyone, and so I always do a video on like a smaller account to make it a little more approachable. I think that there's a certain level of just planning value of watching this level of video, so you know the teams that are consistently in the meta and are consistently going to be good to help you in GAC. However, the idea of you want a more approachable roster to be able to emulate. I can understand that. You also have to realize that it's going to be a little more limited, and like the overlap between your roster and that roster is going to be also limited. However, I think tomorrow I will be releasing one for my Prevail Man account, which is a 4.4 at this point. Account, and I'll show you guys what I'm going to be doing for offense and defense in, what is it? I think I'm in Chromium on that account, so you guys can see what's going on there. That being said, let's jump into the actual game if we can. Whoa, madness. Is that Sorty? She looks sorty cool. Not really. This is, man, okay, so this season's gonna be a little bit weird, guys. Oh, this is my defense. Ooh, you guys got a sneak peek. You lucky you rapscallions. Now, there's this weird thing first off. I mean, so I'm pretty excited about Merrin, and actually, guys, you can use Merrin to replace the fifth character of your squad at any point, even without relics. I've done it on both of my accounts. They're both, she's like really low relic, or really low gear, I should say, like 3 stars, because I haven't farmed anything further on them because they're free to play. For the most part, they're conquest free to play. We should start calling it something like that. But, you know, I only paid for the conquest pass. But anyways, Merrin is going to take over the Nightsisters team, and I don't know what's going to happen exactly, folks. I don't know if my team is probably not well enough modded, frankly, and it probably doesn't have enough relic levels to kill Galactic Legends. I know that it does in GAC sometimes kill Jabba teams, so we're going to be looking at that. And I wouldn't recommend trying to kill Jabba teams if you don't have the Omicron, but this is a pretty cool opportunity, folks. I'm excited to see what the Nightsisters can do. And otherwise, because of that, Supreme Leader Kylo is kind of stuck in this weird place of like, well, I don't know. Like, is he going to be able to kill, like, Lord Vader teams? I'm not really sure, because I mean, I guess you can still put Zombie and Old Daka with him and throw Watt with him. The thing is, that's really messing up a lot of different squads at this point, because Watt likes to go with Trench, at least while Trench has his Omicron, and Zombie and Old Daka are going to want to be with the Nightsister squad with Merrin. Merrin just makes it a better squad in general. Gosh, I've been using him in Conquest with just like a Gear 8 Merrin on Prevail Man on that small account, and it's such a joy. It's so much fun, even though there's only one character with relics, which is Old Daka. That team is crazy. Supreme Leader Kylo's in a weird place, guys. You might see him on defense a lot more, because as more and more people just don't know what the hell to do with him. I think he's kind of, in a way, he's like, really, he wants a lifter unit as well, because all of his cool lifter stuff are the Nightsisters, like, or Watt, or, you know, you can use a lot of different things. He's really going to struggle this season, I think, or he's just going to pick on, like, way smaller squads, I guess. So, I mean, people are also just going to obstinately not use Marin so that they can use the old Supreme Leader Kylo, and that might end up being the better option. But just keep in mind, folks, these two are going to be changing things a little bit and how they operate. Sith Eternal Emperor. So I just put a bunch of random Sith here that I have finished, like Sith Assassin. This is not me telling you should gear Sith Assassin for like the Leviathan. Maybe we're going to need her, but I already had her Relic 5 anyways because she is pretty cool. The thing is, Sith Eternal Emperor, probably we want Watt, like I keep saying. He's going to be on that trench team, and because he's on the trench team, that means that Emperor Palpatine is going to not have his fun lifter character, which also means that he's going to want the armor, and then you probably just these other random, like, kind of role-playing characters, role players. I like Sith with Sith Eternal Emperor because when they die, it cleanses and fully heals Sith Eternal Emperor. Armor is actually a little bit better than Watt in some ways, just in the sense that, so they both return 30% max protection to him at the start of every turn if you put the armor on. The thing that I really like about it, though, and I don't remember which one, I think it's this one here. So even if you don't get the third stack, which the third stack you need Thrawn for, and Thrawn kind of wants to be with Lord Vader this season, I think. But one way or another, I mean, you might want Thrawn to be able to help you counter Jedi Master Kenobi. I don't know what you want, guys. I can't tell you what you want, what you really want. But if you just do 2 stacks from the armor, they still get plus 50% defense and max health, 15% max health. Super nice. Like 3 stacks is even better because you can't be crit, but it's still, in some ways she's better. Of course, in some ways she's worse because Palpatine then can't auto cleanse on his own, which is why you need these poor dupes who are going to help cleanse him as they die. So it's a grisly affair, but I've labeled this heh, so you know I'm not super serious about anything. But, okay, so for offense, this is a weird season, guys, and I should have labeled it. I labeled my other one. I kind of, in a way, see the Jedi Master Kenobi team as interchangeable with Treya. Treya has a really strong option on defense. You use the Treya trio, and then you use Savage and what's her name, Talon, and that squad is really strong on offense or defense, and they both counter Reva pretty nicely. So whichever one you want to do, I think that the Kenobi squad is probably a little higher percentage, though remember, last time we were in 3 or 5v5, you were able to use Cat's auto kill on Reva. You can't do that anymore. You could prevent that revive. If you're taking Reva out with this squad, highly recommended that you don't use Snips here. You want to use like Shock T instead. You don't want anyone cleansing anyone else because otherwise you get all of the bad stuff, all of the death marks and stuff. So Ahsoka is really actually not very good against Reva, so you want Shock T there instead. Otherwise, this squad is good. You'll note that Kenobi's here, and that's partially because you don't want Mace hitting back. Well, I mean, I guess he can hit back. Like, you don't. Kenobi's really great here, though, actually, because he holds the taunt that Mace doesn't really hold. So this squad is really good. These two are, of course, not on the Qui-Gon team, so we'll address that in a little bit. I do like this squad. You can also use Treya. Use them interchangeably, folks. So now we have the 2 Jedi squads, and Jedi Master Luke, he's kind of a sad old man these days. I mean, I guess he's always been sad and old, milking that weird green cow thing, sea cow, but no, I'm not talking about your mom. The thing is, Jedi Master Luke is just he's like reaching the end of his usefulness. Like until he gets a lifter, I don't like what does he even reliably kill? If you want to, I guess the one thing that he does do pretty well still, guys, is he'll kill Kenobi pretty well. If you combine it with this Jedi Revan team, you can combine their powers, do the what is it, Captain Planet with our powers combined, and you know, you can do that still, especially because there are datacrons that have a lot of protection, so he's doing a crazy amount of damage. But otherwise, he's just mostly picking on squads that are like a little less awesome. Like this squad is one version of what he could take. You know, he likes Old Ben. He likes all these characters pretty well. But then the good version of him is going to have, you know, Jedi Luke, sometimes Jedi Revan, Hermit Yoda, all these cool characters, and then Mace will get kicked to the curb. But you know, that's why I like to smash these two together while I'm talking about this stuff, because you guys can see what the various options are. Now, you know, I like to keep them apart when I can, but remember, so Jedi Master Luke loses to Zori teams if you don't have a team that's going to, like, a bunch of characters that are going to help with, you know, like stunning the whole team and doing all this cool stuff. So you need the good version of Jedi Master Luke to kill a Zori team, which is pretty sad. Like, this version can kill General Skywalker, that you might lose some banners, etc. I don't know. What will become of him? Is he going to just die of sadness on his island? Just like collapse into a pile of dust? Some argue that may have already happened. Now, the Qui-Gon team is a little more sad, guys. You can use... so, the only real awesome version of this team on defense, guys, and I've been saying that for a couple months, this team probably has its days numbered. Like, people are using a lot of teams that, you know, that there's just more and more teams that counter it. I guess we should just leave it at that. And so I'm probably going to end up slowing, like taking off these guys' amazing mods. Ki-Adi-Mundi has some crazy fast mods on him. And yeah, plus 150 speed, but they're all offense and crit chance. I mean, I hate to take any of them off of him. He is crazy. But one way or another, this team is still really good on offense. And, you know, these two, like Ayla Secura and Plo Koon, they're not that great on the team. You could add, like, Mace here instead. Remember, they need to be Galactic Republic, or Jedi Knight Anakin is not going to have his full hitting ability, unfortunately. Like, you remember, he really relies on all Galactic Republic Jedi to be here. And contrary to the rumors that I heard someone was talking the other day. They were saying, oh yeah, and Qui-Gon isn't actually Galactic Republic. I was like, wait, what? Probably mixing that up with Omega or something. He is Galactic Republic, guys. But yeah, the squad is going to be on offense, probably for some of the season. Remember, though, if you really want a high-powered defense version of this, and they have to be really high speed or it doesn't work, because Bad Batch will just demolish this team if Echo is faster than you, you need to have Kenobi and Snips as the other two. It turns this team into a defense printer. I know a lot of people are going to be still really cashing in on this. At the top level, though, this team has mostly run its course for usefulness on defense for now, until we get another iteration of it. I'm sure someone will come up with something, but yeah, on offense, they're still going to do some cool stuff. Going to be able to take out something I want to try against Malgus. If I can find like a kind of subpar Malgus team, I'll probably try it on. I don't know. Maybe we need Kenobi for that. Alright, so Luke, he has the 3PO Chupio, the Chupio Cron, whatever it's called. And honestly, guys, I love this team. I love it for defense, but it just dies to like Tuskens. And a lot of the time, I like the people I'm facing these days all have Tuskens, all relict, and I just can't afford to keep it on defense. This team also has a lot of legs, of course, on offense. Takes out a lot of stuff, especially with the Chupio Cron there, keeping everyone safe. And yeah, this is a great squad, folks, and it'll be a lot worse in a month once we scrap all those crons, once we dust them. But the Chupio Cron is legitimately very, very strong. Probably killing, I don't know, couple of the weaker Galactic Legends, but then also, you know, General Skywalker is still going to be an issue. It's going to be more of an issue, actually, because we can't use the Mandalorians anymore to kill General Skywalker with any degree of certainty, at least not on this account. So, yeah, I'm interested to see where we end up using this. Like, maybe against Zori. I want to try that against Zori. I want to try it against a few different things. It'll be interesting, to say the least. Now, for offense, I don't necessarily love the idea of Reva on defense. She is good on defense as well. She's also, I mean, she's just so amazing on offense. It's very difficult for me to want to use her anywhere else. Now, I know that not everyone's going to have Reva, though. I know more and more, like, there are thousands now of people who have Reva, and if you don't have Reva, honestly, you can probably just use Grand Inquisitor about the same. Like, you're not going to kill Galactic Legends with Grand Inquisitor, whereas Reva will kill almost all the Galactic Legends. However, with Grand Inquisitor, you're still, I mean, you could throw him on defense. You could do whatever. I don't know. Like the team with just Grand Inquisitor is not gonna kill too much, I guess. I'm just trying to think of how useful he could be right now. Like in the current setting, he'd be fine against Phoenix Squadron. No, he'd do better. He'd do well against a lot of mid-range teams. Though a lot of these teams that we're seeing, like, I guess, so Grand Inquisitor is gonna just destroy this Qui-Gon team. That's one of the reasons why this team isn't as good anymore. He has a few uses. I would just say keep him for offense. See what comes to you. Grand Inquisitor can do some a decent job on defense. The thing is, Third Sister, Reva squads can just get, like, most people are going to be prepared for them, and they'll have the right team for it, and then it'll just be like, oh, well, you planned for it well enough that, like, there's not much chance here you're just going to beat me. So, I don't know, I like her on offense. Don't be too surprised if I add her to defense halfway through the season, though, if I have some further insight. Now, Dash Rendar is a good character. This is one of my favorite teams ever, just because Dash and Vander do so well. Now, I hope you don't hate me too much. I've been saying I want Relic 9 on Vander Chewie for a long time. I've also been saying the same about Mace. And so I had to choose between which one I put to Relic 8 recently, and I did get Mace to 8, and I think I'll get him to 9 if I can find enough signal data before lock. And then Vander can be my Relic 9 project. But Dash is such a good character with Vander. Love him. Kira actually has a really compelling datacron right now that we could use alongside them, though Vander also has his own datacron. And so does IG-11, for that matter, guys. They're all pretty good. Remember, Quill adds all of his stats, or 40% of his stats, to people. You have to put that Zeta on him. But then he gives 40% of his max health, offense, potency, all of that stuff, and max protection to all the scoundrel allies. Just crazy, guys. I mean, just adding like 2,000 extra offense to Dash is just insane. All that extra health onto Vander Chewie when all of his big hits are based off of health. This squad does so much crazy good. Hate the idea of keeping it or putting it on defense, though I know a lot of people are going to feel like they have to, because you'll see on the defense video, there's not a ton of teams that are really strong defensively. Dash really is, and I may end up throwing him on defense as well. So, you have that. Now, Bounty Hunters just have a bunch of different iterations. This is the one that I've been using the most lately because it counters Lord Vader. But if it doesn't, it's going to be a little bit tricky this season to try to counter Lord Vader because he has that dot cron on him, which makes him, like, impervious. He's just going to have a ton of stacks of protection. I think in 3v3 or 5v5 you might just be able to build up enough damage. I'm not quite sure how exactly it's going to work. Like, you might want to swap out one of these. If Maul isn't on the team, you could probably put, like, Boba there instead of Beskar Mando, and then use Boba to just execute Lord Vader. But I think we're mostly going to just see Lord Vader with Thrawn and with Maul, and then this team is just going to be a little bit like, well, that's not going to be quite good enough. I mean, you're still going to be able to take out a lot of stuff. I'm kind of lamenting those guys. I wish that Bosk and Grief with Zam were fast enough to outspeed most Malgus teams. They just kind of aren't these days. They're not. They're a step behind. And so a lot of the really tough teams just kind of pass them by. Bounty Hunters are less and less relevant. They used to be such a foundational, amazing team. And they're just, they're losing their grip a little bit. Fennec being the lead just adds so much chaos to it. Beskar Mando isn't actually a bounty hunter. It's just kind of a sad situation, guys. For offense, I do have Radice here. You could put him on defense sometimes, but it's just a tricky thing. Like, most people just use Bad Batch on him and just get max banners real easily. And if RNG goes sideways for him is the only real way that they're gonna lose, but they still do a lot of good on, like, these guys will also take out that Qui-Gon Jinn team pretty easily, and for max banners, in fact. Keep in mind that Cassian could be swapped out for probably Turret on this team. You probably want the double tank coverage, and these are the two best tanks. Of course, you want Radice and Jinn here as well, because they're kind of required as a tandem. I don't know, I was thinking the other day, like, this team isn't super crazy effective for me on offense sometimes, but that's probably because I don't have enough relic levels invested. I don't know, and this team is going to be exploded here pretty soon when we get Saw to be farmable, and, you know, because Chase is going to go with him, in theory at least. So I don't know, this team is good on offense. It'll kill a lot of stuff. Honestly, it's pretty versatile. It's kind of that workhorse kind of team that it's like, well, yeah, it doesn't have any, like, overt power, but then it just has its nuke, and then if you can get your opponent, like, close enough, they won't be able to take enough turns to survive, you know, your relentless destruction of them. So, yeah, I like this team well enough on offense. On defense, it does just get destroyed by Bad Batch, unfortunately, guys, or by any number of things as well. 5v5 teams really have the power to overcome it. 3v3, you can kind of get away with some things sometimes, just because it doesn't look as tricky as it can be. So, okay, we have troopers here. One of the things that I'll be showing you guys on my Professor X account at some point this season, at least, you know, that's my 8.8 million GP account. I'll probably be doing the thing I did a few seasons ago where Iden and Piet swap speeds, and then I'll be using I'll use Watt with this Veer's Dark Trooper Piet Iden team, and I'll be able to outspeed a lot of different Lord Vader teams, and I will sneakily still kill Lord Vader with troopers, even though it's not on people's radar. So that's something that I'll be doing. If they have Canderous on the team with Maul, it doesn't really work, though. Just something to keep in mind, folks. Or if they have a crazy fast Inquisitor on the team, that also kind of shuts it down. So it's limited, and probably not something that my main account can really even contemplate, but of course you have to combine the two teams as well, which makes it tougher. Alright, we have Starkiller here. Starkiller is probably my dedicated Ray killer, unless my opponent just has some really crazy cool tech. I don't know. There's, as you'll see on the defensive video, there's a Ray team that is just apparently totally bonkers, and this team isn't going to do well against it, in theory. We'll see. The one thing that I know in 3v3 that someone was doing was a Starkiller team with, now I don't remember. I think, oh yeah, it was Malgus and Seer. I want to see how Seer boosts this team at some point. We'll mess around with that. Maybe we'll throw Cal Kestis on there. Probably do that on my alternate account, at least on Professor X. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do, but this team will kill some kind of Galactic Legend or high-end team. It's very strong. I only have Kanan here. He's not great as the role of the Jedi. He's a tank, though, so that's why I wanted to put him here, because old Ben is hanging out with old man Luke. We have Tuskens on offense. The thing is, guys, on defense, they're pretty porous. They can, you know, like, just a pretty simple Padme team kind of destroys them. Any team that doesn't do turn meter wrecks them. They do annihilate teams that have a lot of turn meter gain, of course, but we'll have to see. Maybe the Datacron is going to change some things. If you have a really good Datacron, you should feel free to put them on defense and let me know how they do, but I don't really see it going anywhere. The thing is, they don't have Omicrons like they do in 3v3. 3v3, they're a huge threat because of their Omicrons. In 5v5, there's just kind of a liability because they don't have any. They also kill Commander Luke Skywalker even with the Chupiocron. A few people did that to me last season, and I didn't realize that was what they were doing, and it made me real sad. I was like, oh my gosh, you have so many banners for that CLS squad that you just butchered ruthlessly. They want revenge on what Anakin did. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just kill his son. That's not like this weird biblical thing, is it? Now we have Wampa. He kills things. You guys know the deal. Mon Mothma. There's kind of a backup squad at this point. I mean, they clean things up really nicely. Galactic Legends. If you can kill like that insane Rey team down to just Rey, then they'll finish off Rey pretty nicely. You remember that Kyle Katarn on his basic, when it's his turn, has ability block. Really important stuff. I know that he's missing a mod. Putting potency on him though is pretty important. Just for that one thing, for that ability block, really strong, guys. Mod Biston better than I have, guys. He's just got these old mods that aren't worth much. They will never amount to much because of his ship, which is kind of worthless these days. But yeah, don't look at his modding. It's embarrassing to all parties involved. Now here's a team that I don't know how to gauge in fives. I know that in so I have the Poggle Datacron, which that means that necessitated me putting all of these guys up to Relic 5 at least. So and Poggle, the stupid, has his Relic 7 because he has a cool Datacron, and the Datacron is actually really good in 3s. I'm guessing it'll be good in 5s as well. I don't really know what to expect from this team. I doubt it's going to be good on defense. Maybe. I don't know. We'll just have to see, guys. Kind of an X factor here. And then finally we have Bad Batch. They just make your Echo crazy fast, guys. And then target teams that have lots of buffs so that the rest of your team gets a lot of turn meter and go from there. You don't have to have 370 speed on Echo, but if you can, why wouldn't you? So just remember to make tech fast and give him a Zeta if you can. Remember that Zeta, a lot of people are kind of badmouth it, but you get 10 extra speed in 5v5 for it. If you take the full Clone War or Clone Team, the full Bad Batch team. Remember, Omega's not Galactic Republic, which is, I mean, I guess lore accurate and yet kind of weird and stuff. So anyways, those are my teams for offense. Go watch my defensive teams video, guys. Hopefully that'll be about 20 minutes. You guys can see, because there's fewer teams to talk about, it'll be good times. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.